So I was born in 1969, which is the same year that the Stonewall riots happened in New York. And at that time, 50 years ago, you definitely would be killed in Wyoming if you were out. And so I grew up always believing that if anyone found out about how I felt, that I would be killed. I just knew it. And then after I graduated, 4 years after I graduated from college, Matthew Shepard was killed just outside of the campus where I went to school. Some boys picked him up at a bar. He believed them. They took him out to a pasture. They strung him up to a fence. They beat him within an inch of his life and left him there. And he later died in the hospital. And that was after I was in college. And these were people I knew. Until Ellen came out, there were literally no role models. I remember in junior high, I went to the library to read about what it was to be gay. And there were 2 books in the library, and they were extremely defaced. There was no one to talk to, no one to ask if it was okay, no one to even see what a life could be like if I liked someone of the same gender. And so all of us at that time, and until very, very recently, had to keep all of this private. And when you have to keep it private and you can't even ask any questions, it's incredibly hard to feel okay when the only things we hear are that it's bad. My coming out, I was not out in college. I dated men. I had a long-term boyfriend in college who I lived with, and he was an amazing guy. All through college, I just believed that I was going to make this work. I was going to make it work, and I would probably get married, and I was going to have a successful career, and I was really focused on my career. And so after grad school, I moved to Arizona. I moved in with my mom for a few months, and I started my first big professional job at ASU. And I met this amazing woman on my first day of work. The woman who would become my partner for 13 years and for whom I would help raise her daughter. And within a month of my being at ASU, some students came and asked me if I would help them start a gay-straight club, really a gay club at that point. And I thought, oh my gosh, why are they asking me? Because I wasn't out then. I still wasn't out. Even though I had had a girlfriend, I hadn't shared with anyone how I felt. But I thought, I have to help them. I want to help them start this club. So I helped them get the paperwork to register. So I decided that I needed to come out, at least to my family, at least to my parents and my 2 sisters. And eventually I went to my mom's house, sat at the kitchen table with my mom and her husband, an incredible man, a Lutheran pastor. And I cried and I told them. And my mom, well, first Steve, my stepdad, said, of course, we love you. God loves you, it's okay. And I felt so much relief. And then my mom, she looked at me with these caring eyes that she always had, and she said, I know you've been trying to tell me for a while. And here's a PFLAG pamphlet. Should we go? You know that I love you no matter what. And it was amazing. It was amazing to have that much unconditional love. My father, on the other hand, was tougher. He's the person I most admired growing up, that I wanted to be most like, that I learned my work ethic from. And by that time, he had become really involved in a very conservative church. And so I did what any good person was do. I chickened out and I waited until he was about to get on a plane, and I told him. And he was in shock, and he didn't speak to me for the better part of a year. And I know that it's because he had big dreams for me, And what I told him shattered those dreams. But I suddenly had a purpose. I had a purpose to help these students get this organization. And ultimately we did. And it became a really important safe place for these students at ASU. So I started my agency, my little KEO marketing agency. And this September, it turned 20 years old. I can't believe that I've been doing marketing that long, but it's been exhilarating, both to learn it on a really big scale and to do it on a smaller scale. And it's also been great because for the past 20 years, I've done that right here in Phoenix. I got involved with the Human Rights Campaign, both locally and nationally, which I felt so honored to be a part of. I got involved with Equality Arizona here locally, and we started to have a community that had started 20 years before I did here locally by some incredible people, but I got to be a part of something that was about making life better, that was about becoming first-class citizens, not second-class citizens. Then in 2011, I met Sue. So our wedding at the Botanical Gardens was amazing. It was beautiful, it was fun, we had the best DJ ever. People had a fantastic evening. And Sue and I, when it was over, we got in the limo and we went to a hotel in Scottsdale. And we checked in our wedding dresses, and we were really excited. And we were told, even though I had a piece of paper that said I had a reservation for a suite, we were told that they had no rooms for us. And it was a blow. It was a big blow. After this incredible night where I really felt like marriage was an opportunity to be denied service at a hotel just a couple miles away. So we had been working for several years to bring marriage both nationally and locally here in Arizona. I was really honored to be a part of a leadership team at HRC, the Human Rights Campaign in DC. I was really fortunate to have followed a lot of what had happened in other states, and I was fortunate to be a part of the Why Marriage Matters Arizona campaign here in Arizona. So some of the advances in marriage ultimately came because of court cases. And there was a really powerful court case in the Ninth Circuit that would possibly bring marriage to Wyoming and to Arizona, two separate cases. And in October of 2014, something amazing happened.
So, Bonnie, do you take Catherine, and Sheila, do you take Sue, to be your lawfully wedded wife by the virtue of the authority vested in me as a judge of the state of Arizona? I now pronounce you legally married wives and wives. You may kiss.
So while we got marriage here in Arizona, we thought we would go straight into talking about non-discrimination. And with Angela, we co-chaired the Competitive Arizona Coalition, and we got an amazing coalition of people together, nationally and locally, to support a non-discrimination bill. And then Houston lost their battle at their city council. And we decided, our group decided, not to go forward with the Competitive Arizona Ballot Initiative that I had poured my heart and soul into.
My admiration has grown and grown for her. I often tell people, when I grow up, I want to be just like her.
And within 10 days of competitive Arizona deciding not to move forward, my mom committed suicide because of some health issues that she had. And so the person who I cared most about and the campaign that I cared most about all came to a screeching halt within 10 days in December of 2015. And it was a huge turning point for me. I was grieving, and I decided to drop off all 7 boards that I was on nationally and locally and just focus on my work. It was all I could do to just go to work and keep my company running, because I'm the only salesperson and I had a lot of people to support. And for 2 years, I stopped doing the things that I most care about. And what it really made me understand and know is that these people, you that I've done this with, are my family. And this work, this purpose that I've had, has been the defining thing of my life. And we're not done. So while I stepped off for a little while, I'm back, and we are back, and we are gonna get this done. So what I learned over the past 2 years, from going from the highest high of being one of the first couples married in Arizona to having the greatest loss of my life with my mom, is that we are stronger than we think we are. That when the worst possible thing could happen, it's okay to be down for a little while, but we feel better when we help others. I came out of it because Angela asked me to get back involved. I came out of it because the people in my company needed me to keep doing my job. I came out of it because my wife was the most supportive, caring person I could ever imagine. And so I came out of it because of all of you. And what I know is that together, we will achieve everything we've been working so hard for, because it's that important.